Part 1. Move-in day. The estate agent said the house was empty. She said it the way people do when they want something to sound settled, finished, like a problem already solved, like it explained the cheap rent. I remember thinking the silence inside felt thick, like the air had been holding its breath and was waiting to see what I'd do next. No furniture yet, no curtains, just my mattress on the living room floor and my phone glowing in the dark. Every sound travelled too far. Each shift of my weight echoed, not loudly, but attentively, like the house was memorizing me. At 2 a.m., the creaks changed. They stopped being random. Footsteps, slow, even, careful, all around me. I lay there counting them, heart hammering. There was no one here. The doors were locked. It had to be my imagination. I reached for my phone. The ceiling light clicked on by itself, and suddenly I couldn't move. Part 2. The door. I found where the footsteps were coming from. Morning light released me from the paralysis and made the house look harmless. Clean, neutral, ordinary. In daylight, it almost looked peaceful. So much so that I wondered if the night before had been a dream. Behind the boiler cupboard was a door. I swear hadn't been there the night before. Painted the same colour as the wall. No hinges visible. No handle. Just a shallow groove, worn smooth where fingers had pulled it open again and again. Inside was a narrow bedroom, a single bed, a wardrobe, a small window that looked out onto nothing but brick. The carpet was flattened in a narrow path, back and forth, like pacing had been the only thing to do. When I pressed my hand to the mattress, it was warm. Not trapped heat, body heat, as if someone had stood up just as I walked in. Part 3. Testing it. I decided not to acknowledge the room. Like ignoring it would make it go away. Like attention was what it wanted. I shut the door, didn't take photos, didn't tell anyone, pretended it was a trick of tiredness. That night, the pipes started screaming. Not rattling, screaming. A single note, stretched thin, vibrating through the walls like a warning siren. It followed me wherever I went. Bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, always directly around me, like it knew where I was before I did. Panicking, I whispered, "I'm leaving in the morning." The noise stopped instantly. The silence that followed felt angry. A low groan started in the pipes. It grew, deepened. Then suddenly, silence again, and I heard the front door lock. Part 4. The quiet. The house responds to intent. I tested it carefully. I packed one box and the floorboards tightened beneath my feet. Not creaking, tensing. The air grew heavy, like the house was holding its breath. Anger, pressure, waiting. I unpacked the box. The feeling lifted instantly. The walls relaxed. There was a long, slow sound in the pipes, like the house exhaling through its teeth. After that, I tried lying to it. I said out loud that I was staying while my hand closed around my keys. The lights flickered once, not violently, disappointed. Like I'd failed a test, thought I understood. When I unpacked properly, clothes folded into drawers, books placed carefully on shelves, the house went completely quiet. Too quiet. The footsteps stopped. The noises eased. I felt watched, but approved of. That's when I found the letter taped inside the fuse box, like it had been waiting until I was ready to read it. Part 5. The warning. The message was written by someone who didn't leave quickly enough. It wasn't a letter, it was a page filled top to bottom with the same sentence. No margins, no breaks, just desperation. The pen had torn through the paper in places, deep grooves, like the writer had pressed harder every time it didn't work. It doesn't like being ignored. The handwriting changed as it went down the page, neat at the top, then rushed, then shaking, then barely legible, like their hands were trembling, like something was standing too close, like they were running out of time. I reached the middle of the page and the lights went out. Not all at once, the living room first, then the hallway, then the kitchen. Each room went dark separately, deliberately, like the house was moving closer. In the dark, I heard footsteps leave the spare room. Slow, bare, unhurried. Whoever was warning me was too late. Part 6. Reflections. After the blackout, something about the mirrors felt wrong. At first it was subtle. A delay so slight I thought it was fatigue. A fraction of a second where I moved and it did not. But once seen, it couldn't be unseen. When I brushed my teeth, the reflection finished a second later. When I frowned, it hesitated, then copied me. Not a mistake, a choice. I stopped turning away. I could feel it studying me when my back was turned, weighing differences, measuring which of us was more real. In its eyes was something I couldn't name at first. As the days crawled on, the shape of it sharpened. Resentment, no. Hostility. I leaned closer, breath fogging the glass, trying to understand what it wanted. That's when it moved. It lunged forward, slamming its palm against the mirror hard enough to rattle the frame. I staggered back. It didn't. Its mouth stretched, shaping a word without sound. Stay. Part 7. 3:17 a.m. Ever since the mirror, every night at 3:17 a.m., it starts. Footsteps leave the spare room, bare feet. Same weight as mine, same careful rhythm, like it's trying not to wake the house. I lie still and count them. They stop outside my bedroom door. No breathing, no knocking, just patience. Last night it leaned against the door hard enough to bow the wood, like it was trying to get to me or testing if it could be let back in and whether the house would allow it through. The handle turned, not forced, not rushed. Then it stopped, like it was waiting for permission. Part 8. Confirmation. The neighbours already knew. They saw me arrive. They noticed how long I'd been inside, how the lights came on at odd hours and stayed on. When I wandered to the window, a few of them saw me. They paused. No one moved. When I raised my hand to wave, tired, hopeful, they returned it carefully, like a courtesy, like a goodbye. They didn't come closer. They knew something was wrong. A little boy rode past on his bicycle. He braked hard when he saw me, tires shrieking on the pavement. He stared at the house, then at me, like he wasn't sure which one shouldn't be there. "What are you doing in that house?" I tried to answer, tried to shout, tried to step into the light. The house disagreed. It didn't pull, it redirected. I felt myself drifting back from the window, one careful step at a time, away from the glass, away from the street. The boy's face twisted in panic as I slipped out of view. "You aren't the first," he screamed. Part 9. Rearrangement. The house rearranged itself while I slept. Furniture angled inward. Every chair, every table, all of it facing the hallway, facing the spare room. My mattress had been dragged from the wall and centered on the floor, squared, presented. I woke with dirt under my fingernails, splinters in my palms, like I'd been helping. The spare room wardrobe stood open. Inside were photographs of me, each one strange, positions I don't remember standing in, expressions I don't remember wearing. Some of them were taken from inside the house. I could feel something pressing against my thoughts then. Not words, instruction. I dropped the photographs and backed away. That's when I saw it, standing where the hallway light should have been, a shape with my height, my outline, waiting. It didn't chase me. It didn't need to. The lights went out. Part 10. Interruption. I didn't make it to the door. The house moved. The hallway tilted. The lights flickered. I ran. I heard footsteps coming from the hallway. I turned. It was closer than it should have been, too close to have crossed the distance. I saw my face. Not right. Not finished. It moved like it had been waiting for this part. I tried to scream. The sound stayed in my chest. It hit me. Not wildly. Not angrily. With certainty. My vision blurred. The world folded into black. The last thing I felt was the floor against my face and breathing against my cheek. Part 11. Occupancy. I woke up, but I didn't open my eyes. I didn't need to. I could feel the house. Not around me. Not above me. Through me. I tried to move. Something else moved instead. A door creaked somewhere far away. I felt it happen, like a muscle flexing. I searched for my breathing. I found pipes, walls, space. My thoughts echoed. They didn't come back the same. I remembered the floor against my face, the breath at my cheek. I waited for pain. It never arrived. Pain needs a body. I looked out through the front window. The garden had changed. The grass was darker near the back fence, recently turned. There was a mound there, neat, careful, like someone had taken their time. I wondered why the sight unsettled me. I wondered who it was for. I didn't finish the thought. Footsteps approached the gate. New ones. Unfamiliar. They hesitated. I felt the house lean forward. Interested. Ready. Part 12. Stay. I know what the mound is now. I always did. I just wasn't ready to call it mine. The house didn't rush me. It never does. It let the truth settle the way soil does. Slow. Certain. There is no pain. There was a moment, brief, where I expected fear. It passed. Fear needs breath and a heartbeat. I don't have that anymore. I feel the front door open. A presence crosses the threshold. Nervous, hopeful. I remember that feeling. The mirrors stir, the hallway adjusts, the spare room prepares itself. I make space. They walk inside and look at the old house. Their presence moves through me. I understand now. The house doesn't just kill, it keeps, it learns, it waits. And when the lights flicker and the mirrors hesitate just slightly, I lean closer. I press my palm to the glass, and I mouth the word I was taught. Stay. The end. I hope you've enjoyed the series. For more stories, like and subscribe. Make a recommendation in the comments for future stories.